My upgrades are Invincible, Chapter 65, Fan Fiction, by Azazyel. The treasure tree was something very special as its fruits could be made into powerful elixirs and, funny enough, into skin care products that would literally wipe a good few years of old age off a person's skin. So, to say the least, it was in high demand by both adventurers, nobles, and very rich merchants. They were arguably in more demand than the golden egg that the jackbird dropped, but there was at least a supply of the fruits that came from the treasure tree. And thus, this fuck-off huge treasure tree that could host 5 green dragons could become the foundation of a Familia should they be able to naturally defeat the green dragons that the tree attracts. Riveria, Finn, and I shared a long look as Gareth just happily chugged away at his sports bottle-sized flask that hung from his hip. "And how would you suggest we split this bounty up, young man?" Finn asked calmly. I took a breath and said frankly, "My name is Jake. But yeah. I take the bounty of fruits and the tree's dead branches, and the tree itself is yours. My Familia has some strong members, but we don't have the numbers to keep such a treasure locked down. I was part of the Hephaestus Familia still, even if I was kind of in exile due to Hera being a controlling bitch, of course. But I still had Tsubaki, who was level 4 as well, who matched the Loki executives at level 4. So, I wasn't lying in any way, but I could see that Finn and Riveria, being more cunning and politically minded than myself, drew their own conclusions as Riveria spoke flatly. "So, you take all the immediate profit and leave us with nothing but potential profit in the future?" I tilted my head to the side and said with amusement. "You three are higher-tier adventurers after all. You three and your familias wouldn't just sell the fruits for straight money, you would instead trade them in for potions and such. I myself am an alchemist, so there is a non-zero chance you could just be handing them other to me in the future anyway." Riveria's face twitched at my blunt reminder, and Finn actually chuckled as he smiled and said, "Ah, I see. You are an alchemist, that explains much. Why your physical stats are so low, but still having great bursts of strength." I had to hold in a giggle as Finn wildly went on a tangent. Thinking I was one of the craftsman adventurers who just rushes through levels and barely gets a C in my Falna's stats in a single stat before using a bullshit amount of bombs to kill a large monster to get the high-quality Excelia to level up. It couldn't be further from the truth, but I certainly wasn't going to say otherwise. But either way, I looked between him and Riveria as they were clearly the decision-makers in the Loki Familia. "So, do we have an accord?" I asked finally. In turn, Riveria nodded and squeezed Finn's shoulder as she spoke fairly. "Very well. Though I do have a thought to share." I raised an eyebrow as she reached into a large sack that was on Gareth's back, and then she took out a silver branch with golden, glowing leaves sticking out of the little branches. I hurriedly scanned it as I raised an eyebrow, wondering what Riveria was getting at. Branch of the Alf Divine Tree. The divine tree within the center of Elves' holy forest allows elves to become more fertile after eating the sap from it, and being within its aura grants elves higher magical talent and magical capacity. Also a potent medical ingredient. A branch for your homeland's divine tree. Why are you showing me this? I asked in some confusion as Riveria smiled lightly, knowing I knew what it was. "Oh, you truly are an alchemist of some talent to be able to recognize such a thing by sight. Especially being only a human, but yes, I have a commission for you. I wish for you to take this branch and make me 3 elixirs. And with the size and vitality within this branch, you can make a good dozen odd elixirs as well with some complementary reagents." "What is she?" "Oh, I get it, she wanted to test to see if I was actually an alchemist, and now she is testing on the level of an alchemist I am. As alchemists that can work with materials from the divine tree start and end with the word elf." I shrugged after thinking if this was a decent idea and realized that I shouldn't just be hiding endlessly when I still needed help getting materials to further my own projects. As the Loki Familia was just strong enough for them to get me high-quality materials. And still weak enough for me to poison, curse, and break their Familia should they decide to betray me for some reason. "Okay, Riveria, that's a fair deal," I spoke, and then she nodded with a small, proud smile crossing her face as she knew that she definitely won out on this. But either way, I asked. So, where are the Loki Familia based in Melon? Finn, knowing that the deal was done, spoke up. We have a townhouse in the Eastern Quarter. The house is walled in and has the Loki Familia symbol and name outside of the house on its signboard. I nodded, committing that to memory, and with the divine branch sinking into my inventory, I finished by saying, "All right, I will bring the 3 elixirs to your townhouse in 3 days." After a moment, I looked at Tina and Tamamo, who shrugged in acceptance. "Then please excuse us then. We are heading back to Melon." The happily drinking dwarf Gareth waved at us, saying cheerily, It was a good scrap we had, and we all walk away happy. Go home happy and enjoy your evening, laddie." His words made me feel a good bit better, actually making me blink and chuckle before I directed Tina and Tamamo back onto the Kelpie, the infant dragon, and while I put the tamed green dragon into my taming space before we took off, riding into the distance back towards Melon. I needed to make some elixirs and digest the huge amount of materials I collected today. And then tomorrow, I take my new ship out onto the water.